of defending them. They have an issue and they need to fix it.
Right.
I want to be clear about that. But I was thinking about this. Well, how would I, if I'm, if Curtis says I'm going off to be big PA announce guy, I'm out, and we're hiring somebody and we're looking, how do Adam and I get to the bottom?
I just sent you an email. So
yeah, I'll get it in 3 weeks.
Nice
I jump right on that.
Well done.
What would Adam and I do to make sure that he's taking care of his pets?
Well, what I would say is that there was evidence in the to this little case, which is what it is for the player who probably doesn't matter, but that they immediately said that the city of Tuscaloosa has been after us, and this is all a conspiracy to get me to stop my hookah lounge. Well, that seems like something you could have found out if you were doing a background check on a guy, if you cared. Now, maybe he didn't think it was worth it. He's on the practice squad, whatever. He's out of sight, out of mind. He's a pretty good football player. He went to Alabama. We don't care. I think we don't care is the answer. That's so. Neither one of us can know.
Again, I will reiterate, and I want to be. Harrison Butker has been a distraction, but he is certainly not a legal problem.
Right.
Let's be clear and set that aside.
Yes.
But between Rashee Rice and I am open to a bad stretch, except for the Amenahu Clark. They'll go down that road. I also think that everybody goes down that road. I don't think you can put 53, 21 to
I don't think the Chiefs
35-year-old guys together that don't have it. Now I will say this: Rashee Rice, I mentioned. I called the people I know in the league and said, "Well, not a great guy," was what I was told.
I mean,
there were I didn't say anything because it's no one else told me, but one person in the league told me that. I'm like, okay. So if somebody else on another team knew that, then I'll bet you the Chiefs, there was an inkling.
I think Mike Sando, maybe it was one of the times you were away, he said that he talked to somebody in the league who said that they absolutely wouldn't draft that guy.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, and he was off the board for some folks.
And off the board's pretty extreme for a guy who ended up being a second-round draft choice.
I think it's
because even if people say they care per se,
clear off the board
if somebody's
versus
a second-round talent and he's around the seventh, well, let's put our pride in our pocket. And
clear off the board versus we're going to take Jared Allen down to the fourth round.
Right,
is different. We'll still draft him, but we're not going to because Jared Allen was a second round grade, and he didn't. Jared Allen. Yeah, I'm right. That's the defensive end.
Yeah,
okay.
He was a fourth round.
For a second, I was like, am I confusing him with
the long
Jeff Allen was the
long snapper.
Yeah, Jeff Allen was the guy. He was not a long snapper. He was, but that's not what
I know.
That shenanigans.
It's just always a funny.
Yes, but
they turned a long snapper into.
Yeah, they did. Then they're incredible coaches.
Exactly.
And they're dumbasses for taking a long snapper in the fourth round.
Well, the other part of it is, I think that what the Chiefs have realized is they're in this period where they win a whole bunch of games. I don't think the fans care very much either. They don't get much outrage. So what's the downside for them?
Well, my question is, could you be a better team if you just took 0.2 of a second slower on the 40-yard dash and a guy that the character is gold? What are you really missing? Is it really worth it? Are the guys that they're taking Tyreek Hill, 5th round, fastest guy in the league, worth it. Worth the risk. But Rashee Rice, who they needed very much and played a big role, but
not unique.
Not unique. And not going to be a Hall of Famer, and I don't think I'll be happy to say, boy, I missed it on that one if he is. And by the way, he's on my dynasty football team, and I like the pick, and I picked him to be the best wideout on the team last year. I got a lot invested in. If I wanted to just root for my prediction, I'd give you some excuse why it's okay. But I think he's good, but he's not great. I don't think he's going to be a great wideout. I think he's going to be a good wide receiver. Mm-hmm. And I do know wideouts are hard to evaluate. But I got to believe that, if you could get a guy that you didn't have any problems with.
Well, also, if they're hard to evaluate, that's another reason not to pick somebody who's a problem.
Well, I think Sky Moore and Kadarius Toney not producing pushed them to where we have to find somebody. And I think they went into a red zone that they probably didn't want to go to, a gray area, if you want, a questionable, because they swung and missed a couple of times already.
And you know what now? They don't care. They don't care.
Danny, I'm fuzzy on something. Before we take a break, can you clear something up? Do they care about character at the Chiefs?
No.
Okay.
So Bobby Witt doesn't care, and the Chiefs need to bat third. That's what we've learned today with Danny.
Bobby Witt should play wide out, and Rashee Rice should hit third.
They would always prefer that Mother Teresa played all 22 positions.
Right.
She was far too small to play line.
Slow, too.
Bad lateral movement.
Anyway.
Doesn't play well in space.
I just wanted to work
Bad
Mother
hip
Teresa
turn
into another
The
reference.
fake hip was part of the problem.
Good initial punch, but...
Yeah. She can fire out.
Yeah, it's better without all the robes on. So.
True.
I'm not disrobing Mother Teresa, Danny.
No,
You're going down that road on your own. We will take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about, can we get to Peter Vermes?
Sure.
Get to Peter Vermes. Champions League tomorrow.
Yes.
See if we can rustle up somebody who's got an invested interest in it. We'll do that next here in the program.
More of Danny's Reasonably Irreverent podcast after this.
Hey, Kansas City, Joe Spiker, Easton Roofing, back for another beautiful springtime in Kansas City. We are proud to announce our renewed partnership with Big Brothers Big Sisters of Kansas City. Starting in 2024, a portion of every job sold will be donated to a cause close to my heart. I was a big, and I encourage you to volunteer. And if you hire us for service on your residential or commercial roof, you'll know that a portion of the profits will go to a great cause. So call us at 913-257-5426. Easton Roofing. Integrity matters.
You're in the program here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Now Danny's apparently ready to talk some sport in Kansas City. Danny Klink's with us. Brought to you by our friends at Easton Roofing. Joe Spiker and his great team. Fantastic. Did you know that they can help you out, whether it's your home or your business? If you own a business, if you're a property manager, they offer turnkey solutions for property managers, including parking plan, schedule, safety plan, warranty expectations, all up front. No guessing with Easton Roofing. And they've partnered with Big Brothers Big Sisters. Now a portion of every job Easton Roofing does goes to Big Brothers Big Sisters. Danny Klink Scale here. We welcome the aforementioned Joe Spiker from Easton Roofing.
Enough ad reads.
Which
they just want to hear Danny.
They want more Danny. Enough of the sponsorship crap. You know, we know those guys are a pain in the ass,
Absolutely.
Right? Decked out, Danny. He is in Dortmund gear.
Yeah, and he's
scarf,
such a good sponsor that
got
won't
a
even
lid.
get into a discussion about double logoing.
Oh, no. I was scared about that when I came in here.
He is double logoed, which is a party foul.
I don't think the scarf matters.
He's kind of here for an event.
Yes.
He's here to be our Champions League insider.
That's right. Exactly.
Jake Davis just said he's rooting for Dortmund, but he's picking Real Madrid, who is a heavy favorite.
For sure.
Against your bunch.
Absolutely. I mean, I told Danny the same thing. I mean, that's the way I'm picking, but that's the way I'm rooting. But I also thought it was great.
You're picking Real Madrid to win?
For sure, yeah.
Okay.
But Marco Reus is my favorite player for Dortmund, and it's really cool. He was
That's Jake's favorite player.
I know. I heard that on the way in. The last time they were in the Champions League final, Marco Reus played in that game.
Oh, he played in a Dortmund game?
He's played like 500 plus games. But
how many has he missed?
But this
400.
Quite a few. He's kind of fragile, but great player. Grew up right outside of Dortmund. Hometown kid.
Where is Dortmund, by the way?
It's in the Rhineland. It's like...
Rhineland is the north area, or is it south area?
It's like the industrial center. You know, it's like the middle.
Okay, this is they're like Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's an analogous city. Honestly,
hence the Steeler colors.
Well,
if you're watching the Champions League tomorrow, they'll be the ones in the black.
And I've heard another nugget that the when you go to Dortmund, you're supposed to eat this iconic soup, which is cabbage and ham.
Yeah, I mean, German food's fantastic. I mean, just
like
put on
It's what?
Looks like they're in the West.
In the West? Okay.
Yeah, almost to the Netherlands.
I'm a veteran of Germany. I landed in Munich and drove right out. So I'm an expert when it comes to Germany. I got a buddy who wants to take me to some matches this fall.
Well, I've been to 2 matches at Signal Laguna, and you have to go there. I mean, it's like Allen Fieldhouse. I mean, I don't want to get in an argument about Arrowhead with you, but Arrowhead and then Signal Laguna where they play it's crazy, man. Dortmund has the biggest attendance in European football. Every year they have
an
more.
82 capacity.
It's 80.
They're bigger
82.
than Bayern Munich?
Yes.
Bigger than Real Madrid and Barcelona? And
Yep. I even looked it up before I came here to make sure I wasn't full of it. But, yeah, they have this stand on the end called the Yellow Wall. And it's like
PSG? And how big is PSG Stadium?
I don't know.
That's not
in Paris. Not that big? Okay.
No, but PSG does have more than double, almost triple the payroll of Dortmund, which you called them a big boy earlier.
They are. They're a big money club. But weren't they? They were going to be one of the teams in the what was the league?
Super League.
Super League.
But they were like the one.
It was them and Bayern that were going to be in, right?
But their payroll is like 128 million euros. You know, Paris is 300,
which is the equivalent of what 140 million.
It's pretty close right now.
Yeah, but
U.S. dollars, right?
The point is, as compared to other clubs, they don't have the same budget for players.
They're not like
what's Real Madrid's budget compared to Dortmund's?
So Madrid, I looked it up before I came in. Theirs is 258 million euros on payroll this year.
So they're not
more
not
than
quite
double.
No, not more. 140. You said
Dortmund's 121 this year.
Oh, 121. Okay, so
but Dortmund has hung their hat in this Champions League run on prevention. Goal prevention, correct?
Well, they've been very lucky. A lot of balls hit the post, a lot of balls hit the crossbar on their way here. I'll tell you what, if you're going to watch tomorrow,
so they're not Sporting.
No,
no. If
you're going to watch
there's
tomorrow,
a stray at Sporting out of nowhere, huh?
And you want to root for the underdog, root for Dortmund, and they're fun to watch.
2:00 tomorrow, right?
2:00. They play beautiful football.
What's it on?
CBS.
CBS. Yeah, it'll be on big CBS, I would imagine.
Yes.
Yeah. You got to have Paramount to follow Champions League, which is
you got to have Paramount to watch the earlier rounds.
Yeah.
But they'd show one game a week on CBS just to tease you until they got to the big ones at the end.
Which I, of course, had to hear about from Danny because he doesn't have Paramount.
You have Paramount?
No.
Of course I do.
Yeah, I was going to say I have it. How do
one
you
of the
not have it? You like soccer. How do you not have
services
it? It's actually not bad. There's lots of Star Trek shows, Danny. You'll be thrilled. Many a Star Trek show you can stream on Paramount.
I watch a lot of soccer, and I can,
a lot of Star Trek.
I know the final's going to be on.
Every year he comes in with the fake Spock ears, a couple of times. Yeah, that's how Danny rolls.
That's pretty good. I do want to hear about Vermes, though, here, Danny.
Yeah, so how about it, Dan?
I think you got to give him the season. He's earned that.
Okay.
But,
it's awful.
He's
sure he'd thank you for giving him
soccer's a world where people get fired all the time. 3 years is a big run in soccer. And MLS is no exception.
But all right, let's examine that for a second before we make that as a reason to fire.
I'm not making him a reason. I'm just
then why'd you bring it up?
I'm just saying the context of the sport is one where
he has certainly been in position much longer than most.
Right.
But I'm curious when Chelsea fires people to just think they think it's like George Steinbrenner firing Billy Martin.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was no real rhyme or reason to it. It's just a rhythm that they got into. It seems like this is where the richest people in the world own teams,
right?
Is in the world of soccer in various different leagues, and they are some of the most impatient. We watch it in the NBA, we watch it in baseball. The Mets, Cohen gets in there, buys the Mets, and what does he do? He buys every big name he knows. He gives way too much money for Verlander and for Scherzer, and then shocking, they're hurt and they suck, and they're like, oh, this doesn't work. The oligarch from Russia bought the Nets. He went and the big three worked in Boston. I'll get them out. Yeah, they're all 36, and he brings in Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, and Kevin Garnett, and it goes down the toilet. Microsoft guy buys the Clippers. He's bringing in Kawhi Leonard on the downslope of his career, George on the downslope of his career, and it doesn't work. To me, and then they fire somebody. They fire the manager, the coach, because it's not me. I'm a genius.
It's not hard to understand. They are loaded, and they can buy everything they want along the way.
And they're going to blame somebody else,
absolutely
right. Well, but they have a model to Peter Vermes' defense. For instance, if they're a Premier League ownership group. The powerhouse team of the league is Man City. They've had the same coach for several seasons. And Liverpool has had the same coach for several seasons. Now he's stepping down on his own.
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of debunk, because guys don't usually last long. That's not a compelling reason to fire Vermes.
No,
it has to be you don't think he can find the talent, because he is also he's the sporting director and manager.
Right. I think although he's given up some of those duties of late, but
I think he's brought more people in to help.
Right.
Still makes the
you're working on a couple of seasons now in a long stretch between successes in the playoffs, and 2 years in a row where they have not played. They have the oldest team in the league.
Well, that is my rub.
Right.
Is that soccer is not an old man's game.
Well, they also have an open DP spot. Why do you have...
Well, they're going to use... I think they're going to use that this year.
He talked about that. I think it's something that he is not happy with, that they have an open DP spot. But also, you just